Surfing would have been a big deal way back when. After all, we are surrounded by beautiful bodies of water and some of the best beaches the world has to offer. But it wasn't. Foreigners, either in transit or in search of a new surf spot, rode our waves and didn't really share with the Filipinos what they were so stoked about. Two adventurous and humble Japanese men to get Philippine surfing started. And in the last decade or so, I've seen it burgeoning. My name is Paulo Soler. Through my own eyes, through my own experiences, I've seen local surfing become the fastest growing water sport and lifestyle in the country. This is Pinoy surfing. This is our story. And it all started in a place called La Union.
So it all started when I was really young. My father, he had a resort in La Union, which is not far from here. It's about 45 minutes away. And when I was a kid, you know, I just loved the ocean ever since I was really young. And until I turned around 18, that was like the late 90s, I finally, you know, stumbled upon a flyer in, it was one of the first surf shops I remember clearly. Walking into this surf shop and seeing this flyer that was advertising surfing lessons in La Union, in San Juan, La Union. And that same weekend, we just got in the car and headed out and experienced surfing for the first time. And it was the first time I ever felt the stoke of surfing. It's the first time I understood it. And I guess it's safe to say that ever since that moment, that weekend, there hasn't been a day that's gone by that I haven't thought about surfing. There's so many good things. And you had to invent a word to describe it. You had to invent the word stoked to describe this exhilarating feeling that you get from riding waves. Everything around surfing is just so beautiful, so wonderful. It makes life so beautiful. You know, it makes you want to live. It's such a positive vibe. And it's just being one with nature, you know, being in touch with your spiritual side, you know, being happy and being healthy. You know, that's just the plus. It's actually a healthy activity. You know, it's an addiction. You can't stop doing it. And the more you do it, the healthier you get. And from there, it just, you know, evolves and it seeps into your life more and more, that it changes your life. And then everything else sort of revolves around surfing, you know, and it's just fantastic. It's a beautiful activity. It's one of those things that you just do purely for fun. You don't need a scoreboard, you don't need an audience. You don't need equipment, really, sometimes, you know. It's pretty much free, you know, you don't have to pay for the waves. It's not competitive, in my opinion. I mean, there is a competitive side to surfing, but for the most part and for the pure part, it's really just really purely for fun. This is a really good way to remind you that life can be really awesome. Oh yeah, this is where my heart is. This is where it all began, you know? I mean, if you see my first wave, they were probably like a little over my ankle. And if you see the facial expression I had, I looked hysterically happy. I looked insanely happy. And I can remember that moment. I cannot forget that moment. Considering I can't remember a lot of my youth, that particular moment, I can't ever forget. And I'm just really lucky that the guy who taught me how to surf, Mr. Hiroshi Yokohama, this Japanese guy who was cool enough to have the first surf school ever in the Philippines, right here in La Union. And my heart's here, my heart stays here. Every time I come back, I feel this energy here that I can relate to, somewhat similar to like being at home. You know, I wouldn't say it's my favorite surf spot because I've traveled around the Philippines and I've gone up of the country a few times to go surfing and I'm extremely happy. But back here, this is home. This is basically where it all began. So you can never forget that. And somehow I owe it to this place.
Masaya din nung konti pa kami. Kasi like, yung totoong lifestyle ng surfing nandun, pero walang anak buhay. Kasi we're just, nag-fishing lang kami. That's yung anak buhay ng construction. So, nung dumating yung surfing, dumami, nagkaroon ng hanap buhay. Mostly mga locals. Blessing sa amin lahat yan ng taga rito, mayaman man o mahirap, nakinabang. Hindi iisang tao lang yung nakinabang. Kasi hindi want to go, sir. Yung kuya ko kasi, siya yung pinaka-unang locals na nagsasurf. Si Enteng yung tawag sa kuya. Sila Aki yan yung mga sumunod na nag-guide sa kuya ko Dalo lang naman yung surfing dati dito like, surf ka, fishing ka, inom, kain, tulog, ganun lang So walang trabaho, walang hanap buhay. Kasi ang sarap na mag-surf nag-i-enjoy ka na talaga And then nung dumating na yung mga tao, paunti-unti, may mga kaibigan na kami, dumadaan na kami. Kasi nag-umpisa na rin yung mga taga-Manila pumunta rito para matutong mag-surf. And then sila na rin yung nagdala ng mga tao pangkabuhayan ng mga locals. Nag-umpisa kaming mag-surf, nagtayo na rin kami ng maliit na kubo sa beach. Kasi wala pa talaga lahat So, walang may-ari. So, pwede kang magtayo lang ng kubo mo para gawin Yun yung naging foundation namin. Na sumabay na rin tumulong yung association ng San Juan Surf Club. So, kami, matanggap lang kami ng mga bisita dumarating sa beach. So, kami yung nagbibigay ng, nagbibigay ng surf lesson, kapalit. Buwan tayo sa gabi, libre kain kami, may pang-inom na kami. So, yun yung umpisa. Wala pa yung babayad ka para matuto mag-surf. So, parang, pag tinuruan mo na, kaibigan mo na. So, babalik na yan Sila yung nagbibigay na ng buhay sa amin So, lalong naging may buhay yung kubo namin kasi doon na rin sila natutulog sa kubo namin Yung mga gusto talaga nila ng lifestyle na totoo Lima lang kami kasi dati, like si Mickey Boy, si Tangjun, si Tisoy, saka si Mickey Boy. Ano ba? Si Jongjong. So kami lang talaga yung lima sa kubo. So walang kuryente. So sarap ng buhay. Yun yung naipasa namin sa mga unang generation na nag-surf na taga Manila. Like sila Paulo, sila Jericho. Hindi sila kasi mga celebrity pag nandito Yung mga locals yung celebrity dito Kasi wala kami pakialam kung ano ka man, as long as tao kung dumating sa lugar. Wala kami pakialam kung artista ka o doktor ka man. Kasi marami nung dumarating dito mga iba-ibang klaseng tao. Pero sila yung sumasabay sa kultura natin. Yun yung mga masasayang nakuha ng mga naunong nag-surf na taga Manila. Pero ngayon kasi iba na parang turo ka lang, bayad mo yung bayad mo, okay na. So, continue-usap na. Wala nang relasyon, alam mo. So, hanap buhay na lang. Okay pa rin naman. Kasi yung mga locals dito, na-maintain yung pagiging maayos na locals na tumatanggap ng bisita. Alam mo, hindi nagkakako ng bisita. So, lalong dumami yung turista. Yung surfing talaga nagbigay ng, parang buhay din sa lugar nito. I've been surfing like around
siguro 20 years na yun. I started late 12 years old ako. Hanggang nagkaroon ng mga events, in-invite kami sa ibang provinces. 2000, start na akong lumabas ng Pilipinas na compete hanggang 2009. So yun, hanggang ngayon. So yun, kami talaga yung, isa din ako sa nakakita ng kung paano nag-grow yung loob yun. Yung una, actually yung first na batch ng mga surfers dito, ano lang, yung may mga anak na may maaari ng resorts like Luke, sa Resort Camp, sa Anthony. Kasi sila yung may mga chances na magkakaroon ng boards kasi yung mga foreigner na stay sa kanila, iniiwan na pag hindi na, kung ayaw na dalhin pa uwi, iniiwan sa kanila. So ginagamit nila. Tapos ako naman, dito, kung part na to, hindi ako nag-stay bahay na to. May pinsan ako na bata, so nag-stay dito sa bahay nila na foreigner na hindi ayaw na yung board, iniiwan sa kanila kasi dito yung main point. Nakikita ko sila, mga dyan, dito na surfboard, sobrang lang, siguro 4 sila everyday, gano'n. So ako, nag-interest ako na sabi ba't hindi ko subukan kasi may board eh. So yun, tinry ko, mag-isa ko. Tapos may mga Japanese dito na matagal na rin nag-stay. Sila talaga yung mga pioneer dito. Daddy ni Luke, si Brian. Nung nakita lang ako sa tubig, parang sila rin bibigay ng tips na ganito dapat kong gawin. So yun, lumalabas ako. Pag nasa labas sila, sumusunod na rin ako. So kaya nagtatry ako, sarili ko lang talaga. Tapos kung nakikita nilang mali, sinasabihin ako na dapat ganito ganyan. Si Aki talaga yung parang coach talaga from the beginning na dapat ganitong board na gamitin mo. Huwag kang lumabas pag ganito yung condition ng alon. Japanese, siya, based na dito talaga, nagkaroon ng family. So siya yung regular everyday, every morning na ladaan dito, mag-surf siya. Tapos nadadaanan niya ako dito na parang, sige nga, let's go surf, gano'n. Sabi ko, sige, sama ako. So yun, magkakasama kami lagi. Tapos may mga fisherman din dito na, actually, 2 o 3 yata. Yun yung mga unang tinuruan talaga nila. Si Kuya Ending, si Nanyong. Ayun, pag nasa labas sila, yung sumasama nila ako. Kasi kailangan may kaalali talaga sa'yo eh. So yun, natuto ako, parang sa gusto ko lang talaga, hindi ako nag-take ng lesson or nakaswala, parang nasa school dati.